Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to a new show here. For those of us that follow us on, welcome in, Terry. That follow us on Instagram. The little cheater this week this is going to be a little bit heavy on Tim Duncan rookie cards. I do have a bunch of you reached out to me and said, can you please do some other stuff as well? So yes, there is going to be quite a bit of fun. I thought about calling this putting the fun back into grading because it's just I've been having so much more fun recently going after stuff that isn't modern. I haven't gotten any of my grades back yet, so maybe I'll feel differently when that happens. But right now, it just seems like I'm having the last month or so seems like I'm being re-energized with a whole bunch of fun. Like I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now because I'm not worried about trying to get blue X fractors and all that kind of crap that comes with the late stuff. Going back to childhood vintage kind of stuff, remembering how much fun it was to collect back then instead of this grind that we have now where if it isn't a 10, it sucks. So yeah, I've really been enjoying myself the last month or so. So I hope everybody's enjoying following my content, and hopefully today we'll get some plays out there that you can make that everybody will have fun with that.
You know, I had a snipe set. I used that Gixxon for my eBay purchases, and I had a snipe set, and it was two 86 Fleer Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, and both of them looked real nice. And at the very last second, somebody outbid me. It bummed me out. I thought I was going to get those things, man. But yeah.
Nice. Well, why don't you start for anybody that is in the Discord? I don't know if you posted it to your Instagram story or not, but Bo had a couple of PSA 10 magazines come back, which I don't know as I've ever seen a PSA 10 magazine. I thought 9.8 was the highest grade.
Yeah.
So Bo wanted to talk a little bit about that and then give some tips for anybody that wants to grade magazines.
Okay, so I haven't taken them out of the packaging. I just leave them. But here's the 10 on AZ Fudd. And as far as I know, that's the first one. And then I got the 10 on AJ Dabansa also. And I think I've got a trick that can help with getting these 10s. Now, both of these are the gold editions, which are numbered out of 94. They cost about $100 and they sell out that day. So you kind of have to be on the Slam Magazine email list. And then as soon as you see that it's for sale, buy it right then or you're never
slam
going to
it.
Yeah. So like I bought 3 of these. This is the Sarah Strong one. Now I've already mailed I bought 4 of them. I'm sorry. I bought 2. My mom bought 2. They don't let you buy 2. So, and I paid her the money, but so they sent me the 4. And I thought I'd keep one and try to sell it raw during March Madness. I put a $300 price tag on this. We'll see. If it doesn't sell, then I will just regrade it. But the shipping is based on boxes of 5. So if you send in 4, you're not really getting all the most out of your shipping because they send it in this big box of 5s. So I try to do grading orders in 5s. But what I've been doing, see this on these 2 10s I got, there was also another AZ Fudd that got a 9.8. And then there was an Asia Wilson that got a 9.8. And I got a 9.6 on a Dabansa, which was actually the jersey number. He's number 2, and it was number 2 of 94. I sold the 9.8 AZ Fudd yesterday for $450. I thought I'd get some money back, I'm thinking about putting $2,000 price tags on these 10s because I saw that 2 Jalen Brunson's 10s sold for $1,500 each. And that's not his first appearance on a magazine or anything. So I'm thinking that these ought to do better than Jalen Brunson. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'll give it a shot. But anyway, what I'm doing is they come The gold ones come packaged up real nice. When I buy bulk from Sports Illustrated, it's terrible. Like half of them are beat to hell as soon as you even open them out of the package, out of the box. They don't do anything. But see, these are shrink wrapped with cardboard, and they put it in a big white padded envelope too. So I'm just sending it to them exactly like this, and with cardboard on both sides, bubble wrapped, and then I'm paying them the extra $12 for them to press it instead of me. I'm thinking that if they're pressing it, they're going to be it's more incentive to give me a better grade, because they pressed it for me, So the 5 that I did before, I had no 10s and I did the pressing myself. And then on these, I'm just sending them in. It's $12 extra for them to press it. It takes an extra month, but it worked at least this time. I've got another order out right now with 3 Sarah Strongs, 1 Tyrese Maxey, and 1, what's the young cat on the Pistons that's doing really well? It's not Cade Cunningham. Jalen Duren? Is that his name?
Yeah, Duran's doing well.
Yeah, okay, so that's the 5 that I just sent off. It had a Duren, and that was his first magazine cover, and 3 Sarah Strongs, and a Tyrese Maxey. And I did the same thing, just saying, hey, pay the extra for you to press it. Right now, it's $25 to grade the magazines. I was kind of surprised they didn't do any upcharges on these, but I think maybe because nobody sold these yet, they don't even, that they just gave them to me for normal cost. But I have a feeling that I'll do better than the guy that sold the 2 Jalen Brunsons for $1,500 each.
So it's 25 to grade it, 12 to press it. How much to ship it?
The shipping was like $40-$50 for a and that's for 5
there and back, or just there?
Just back. It cost me to ship it about $12.
Okay, so you got it, what, about $60, roughly $65 with shipping and everything tied up in it, plus the cost of the magazine. You said was about $100.
They're like $90 plus tax.
Yeah, so you got $150 roughly in the magazines, and you just sold one for $450.
Yep.
So you're doing well. You might be onto something. That might be a better profit margin than the cards.
Yeah,
especially if you got these 2 10s and they're $1,500 or $2,000 a piece.
Yeah.
We might have to turn into magazine rock stars instead of cardboard rock stars here.
I think the gold editions of the Slam is the trick.
I remember how I told you I sent off. I had to send off 1 magazine to try it. I sent off the magazine and I got a 9.6. I didn't press it. I just sent it. It was a PSA magazine still in the plastic. I didn't know what I was doing. I put cardboard on each side. I shipped it off. It came back a 9.6 and I put it, actually, it didn't even come back. I had PSA sell it for me.
Oh.
I ended up, I think I made about $50 on it when it was all said and done.
Okay.
But I thought, yeah, I'll stick to cardboard. But with these profit margins you're talking about, maybe I need to try a few more.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is you got to be quick. Like about when I think it was a couple months ago, they had a gold LeBron James, but as soon as they listed that sucker, within 2 minutes, they were all gone. And you don't really know.
Do you subscribe to the magazine?
No, I mean, nobody wants subscription issues. If it's got the address on the label, the value drops like a rock.
Oh, okay.
So you've got to get the newsstand editions. And you just get on the Slam mailing list and they'll send announcements. What's crazy is, so this is like the November, December cover, I believe. Oh, it's February, March cover. And see, it says Jalen Duren, Austin Reeves, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker, Stephen Curry. Typically, the people that are listed on the cover, half of them will get their own edition. So of this February, March issue, there are 4 or 5 different covers. Like I've got
I
the
see.
Jalen Duran. So it kind of gives you an idea. When the first one gets announced, you kind of get an idea of what's probably coming next. So I saw the Sarah Strong on the cover of the Tyrese Maxey one. I'm like, ooh, okay. As soon as that one comes, I'm gonna try to load up on those.
Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So it's, I mean,
It's an interesting twist of an area I don't know much about. So it's
yeah.
always fun to hear people making money in other ways.
And Slam seems to be the second favorite to Sports Illustrated as far as sports magazines are concerned.
Okay.
But it's really hard to get nice copies of Sports Illustrated. I think your best. Somebody told me I'm on a Facebook group that they go to the hospital, and that the magazines in the hospital are all stacked up, all nice and pretty, and nobody touches them, and they go buy their SIs at the hospital. I hit up Barnes and Noble. I mean, I bought 20 copies of the Mendoza cover, and they were all crappy, man. I mean, there wasn't any of them. I mean, I'd be lucky to get a 9.4 on the best one. So that's the bad thing about SI is it's hard to get nice copies with no white on the back, on the corners, and all that kind of stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I did get a 9.8 on Paul Skeen's girlfriend swimsuit issue. I put $300 on that, and it's got like 80 watchers on eBay, but nobody's offered me anything for it yet.
Well, I think they just want to look at the pictures.
Yeah. I'll probably end up. If she gets in trouble with the law or something happens, I'll probably auction that thing.
Yeah. So the PSA magazine that I graded was the Wembenyama issue. That was the one I got. And like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I let them auction it, and by the time I got everything all said and done, I don't know. I think I cleared maybe $60 profit, but I think it sold for like $100 and I don't remember. It was like $135 or something like that. But
yeah, that's pretty good, really. I mean, I had on the Slam, the base normal Slam from last summer with Cooper Flag. I have 3 9.6s, and that's the cheapest copy. You know, those are like $10, I think, at the store, and been selling those for about 180. But I think I might hold on to 1 or 2. I didn't get any 9.8s on Cooper Flag, which bummed me out. But if I would have done this trick, I probably would have had better luck.
Yeah, it's interesting how they do that. I've got to have 50 unopened PSA magazines, all still in the plastic.
Yeah, I mean, if you got Jordans and Kobe's and, you know,
I probably do. I mean, I've got to have, I don't know. I don't think I've opened and read one since 2001, maybe.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, 2021.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've got 5 years. What is it? 12 a year. They send one monthly, right? So I got to have 50, 60 unopened ones.
I take a close look at your Jordans and your Kobe's and things like that and see if there's any dings on them. If they look real nice, probably worth sending it in.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if it's, you know, you got $60. You know, they're free. They're part of the subscription. So, you know, it costs you $60 to grade them.
You know. Well, with those, yeah.
I mean, all they got to do is they just got to sell for 75 to break even.
Yeah. Or if you don't have them press it, you know.
Terry's got a question there for you.
We put a magazine section in our Discord on Cardboard Rockstars. It's, you know, it doesn't get a lot of action yet. But that's the only one that I know of. There's a Facebook guy, I think it's called CGC PSA Magazine Grading. And he has a YouTube channel too, where he kind of goes into the techniques of get your press at 160 degrees. And, you know, he goes, it's a really cool YouTube channel. And he has a Facebook group too. And I've been participating in that some, it's really good. If you send me an email or something, I can send you a link to it.
I've been contemplating getting a press, not for magazines, but for cards. right now I use a t-shirt and an iron,
Ooh, yeah.
and it seems to work okay. But um, I watch Kurt do it, and he swears by the press. So I'm thinking about buying a small press just to press some cards and see if I can take my reconditioning of cards to a whole nother level. But
Okay. Make sure that you can dial the temperature to whatever exactly you want.
yeah, you want to do it. You want to press cards at a certain temperature. So
When I first got into comic books, this guy I listened to on YouTube said this is the best press to get, and I trusted him. And the dang thing ran at 300 degrees, not a degree lower or a degree higher. And the first modern, the more modern comic books have kind of more of a glossy kind of paper in it. Freaking melted the damn thing. I mean, it was like a chunk of plastic once you took it out of the press. I'm like, oh man. And then you're supposed to run those at 140 degrees, those modern comic books. So I just, melted.
Yeah, 160 is what they say you should press cards at with glossy finishes. So
yeah, that's what I use for. I mainly do like 1980s comic books with at 160.
all right. Well, anything else you want to talk about with magazines before we get into some plays here?
No, I've been mainly just looking at that and trying to do a big football order before. I figure I probably have another week or two before I start worrying about not getting it back in time for the national. So I got to get these suckers sent off. I'm probably going to go with the value on most of these. I've got, I've been finding that, these Jackson Dart silver prisms, those I think are, a lot of them look real nice, but I find that the Bowman, the Prism autos, like Colston Loveland, I've got 2 of the Ashton Genty, that the centering on the autos seems to be more consistent than anything else out of the current Prism. There's the Tetaroa and Travis Hunter, that they're a lot easier to find well-centered copies. Like the silver Prism, I guess Cam Ward for some reason did not do signatures with this. There's no silver Prism Cam Wards, or if there are, I've never seen one. But his base silver Prism, it's got a terrible cute. The centering, if you look on eBay, it's like 1 out of every 20 looks like it's got a shot, but they're really off center on a lot of stuff. But the autos seem to be have better QC than anything from what I've seen.
Did you see Terry's note here? He's asking if you can drop the Discord link
Okay.
in the chat, not in the main chat for anybody watching. For those that are watching for the first time, we do have a Discord, Cardboard Rockstars Discord. I think it is one of the better Discords out there. Some very knowledgeable people in there that are willing to share information and help you make some profits. Some great people in there. Terry is one of them. Terry, Eric, Bo, lots of very knowledgeable people helping out in the Discord. So come join our Discord. Look for the link in the show notes here. While I get doing the plays, Bo will put the link to the Discord in the chat. So without further ado, let's start looking at some ways to make some money. I just cannot tell you how happy I am to not have to worry about silver Prism Jackson Dart cards. This stuff has been so much more enjoyable for me than all that other junk. I don't know as though if I'm gonna buy and grade any Prism football this year. I'm having so much fun doing this vintage stuff right now. So right now we are going to start out with, I bought this one, well, I don't know, almost 2 weeks ago now on Instagram. This is the 97 SP Authentic card number 165. This is the Future Watch. So they have the SP Authentic Tim Duncan rookie card, and then they've got the Future Watch rookie card. There's two separate cards, not to be confused. Both of them are good cards. Both of them you can make some money on. But this is the Future Watch. As you can see, $7.99 was the most recent sale, just a few days ago. PSA 9 sells for $100. So plenty of margin in a PSA 9, which is what you want to see. A PSA 8 will about break you even if you end up with a PSA 8. PSA 9 for $100, you got about a 21% chance. For PSA 8, you've got a 35% chance. There's only about a 2% chance at a PSA 10. I don't look at that too negatively, just simply because there have only been 428 of these cards submitted for grading. This is where I'm having fun, Bo. This is what I'm finding to be fun. There's only 428 of this card graded. This is the mid 90s. I mean, we're talking high production rates back in the mid 90s, right? There was, I guess basketball wasn't produced like football and baseball, but these cards are not that hard to find. They're just hard to find in a good condition. I'm just having so much fun with this. 428 cards. There were probably 428 Cooper Flag cards graded within 30 days of the release of the product. Here you can find a card that's, of a Hall of Famer. And the better the Spurs do, and Wembanyama does, and the more comparisons to Tim Duncan and David Robinson and the championships that the Spurs had, the more you're going to hear about Tim Duncan, the better the Spurs do. I think the more you're going to see the prices go up and up and up for Tim Duncan. That's just my opinion, but I think that you're really going to see Tim Duncan cards take off here.
Hey, it wouldn't let me post directly to the chat, so I sent the link to you for the Discord.
You sent the link to me?
Yeah, in our private chat between me and you, because it won't let me post to the chat with everybody else.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I think it's because I'm not paying for StreamYard.
Oh, well, there's the link for our Discord now in the chat for anybody that wants to join. All right. Let's go take a look at another Tim Duncan card here, shall we? Next one up. I absolutely love the gold medallion Fleer Ultra cards. I love the 96 Kobe Bryant. I love the Tim Duncan 97 here that you see, 131G. The gold medallions have such a good look when they're slabbed. Such a beautiful card. Nostalgic and good looking. Fleer did an awesome job with this. This card last sold for $23, $23.20. If you look at the 30-day average, it's selling for $25. A PSA 9 sells for $281. A PSA 8 will sell for $121. A PSA 7 will sell for $56. So you can buy this card, get a PSA 7 and break even. You can double your money on an 8. You can, 6 times your money on a 9. And it's got a 26% rate at a PSA 9. Again, only 597 of these graded, so there aren't a lot of them graded. Again, about a 2% PSA 10. PSA 10 sells for $1,600. I'm sorry, the Future Watch PSA 10 sold for $686. I don't think I covered that, but I'm not really looking at, is it possible to get 10s? absolutely. There's still people getting PSA 10s on the 96 Topps Kobe Bryant. But that card gets thousands of cards sent in and graded every year. Here, these are such a small amount. I think there's possibilities that you could go get a PSA 10. But I'm just focusing on the 9s and lower. I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to not get misled here. These older cards are not as easy to gem as the newer cards. They're just more fun. Let's just face it. I'm having so much more fun than trying to get a PSA 10 on a Jackson Dart Silver. And even if I do get a PSA 10 on a Jackson Dart Silver, you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to list it for sale as fast as humanly possible because I don't want to collect Jackson Dart PSA Silver. I get a high-grade Tim Duncan rookie card, guess what? I'm going to be like, sell it, or maybe I'm going to put this in my PC because it's an awesome card. It's an awesome card for somebody to put in their PC for long-term growth. So you have the ability to flip for profit now or throw it in your PC, hold it for some time, 6 months, a year, 6 years, whatever you want to do. Tim Duncan cards are not going down in price. I can guarantee you that. And it gives you, when you go walk through the card shows, instead of trying to find all this stuff, you can go look for some of this stuff. A lot of this stuff you can buy, you can find it, in people's boxes. Like I found it. I found the Future Watch card, the Tim Duncan Future Watch. A guy had a $5 to $10 vintage box. And I was digging through it and I'm like, hey, this card looks pretty good. And I bought it. It's crazy. All right. Oops. We're going to back out of this here. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. Remove. Sorry about that, fellas. All right. Next card up. We will get to that card. All right. This is the Topps Chrome Destiny Refractor. I was so excited to go looking and hunting for this card. Mid-90s refractors are absolutely awesome. They have such good inserts. This is a cool looking card. $52 is the most recent sale. As you can see, there've only been 18 sales in the last year on eBay. So it only sells, once every, 1.5 times a month roughly. So these are a little bit, you got to search for them. But again, only 305 of these have ever been sent in for grading. 305. So you're not, when you do get these grades back, you're not competing with 4,000 Cooper flag listings on eBay. You can take your time. You can get them back. You can post what you want. If you don't get what you want, you hold them and they're going to go up in value. So that's what kind of makes this fun. I'm getting re-energized here, Bo, with looking at with PSA's slower times and me going back to the basics here. I'm really loving this. The 30-day or the 1 year average is $55. The most recent was 52. So you're going to spend in that $50 to $75 range for a nice one. That's okay. PSA 9 sells. The last one sold for $65. The one before that sold for $110. The average on the PSA 9 is $85. So if you can find one for $50, you're going to break even. If you find one at $75 and you get a 9, you might lose a little bit of money. It does have a 39%. It does have a 39%, 39.7% PSA 9. It is the largest percentage of any of the grades. 4 out of 10 get PSA 9s. And then the PSA 10 is $570. And that has almost a 20% gem rate. So you're looking at about 1 in 5, 1 in 6 will still get PSA 10s. So this is a gemmable card. If you can find a nice one. You ever collect any Tim Duncan cards?
He's kind of in that time period of when I wasn't messing with cards at all. Like my dad took me to my first NBA game in 1990 with the Spurs. We went to San Antonio. So I've always been a big Spurs fan. But by 1997, I was post high school, chasing girls and going to rock concerts and stuff like that. So I didn't really do any cards in the late 90s at all, other than I worked for Tops, but I never covered NBA for them, just football and baseball.
All right. The next one is kind of the staple rookie card that if you're going to have a Tim Duncan, this is one, either this or the base paper are the two easiest ones to come by. You kind of got to have a Topps Chrome Tim Duncan rookie card if you're going to collect Tim Duncan. This is the Topps Chrome base. It's not the refractor. It's card 115. Surprisingly enough, this card sells for about the same price as that insert refractor, which is why I really like that Destiny refractor, because it's about the same price and it's not a base card. And the Topps Chrome base card, there have been 8,800 of these graded with PSA. There's only 305 of the refractor Destinies. So you can kind of see where my mind goes here when it comes to what is a little bit more fun for grading. But anyways, $55. This card sells often. 10 sales in the last 30 days. $33 is the 30-day average. You can see that last one at $55 really spiked up. I looked at that listing and it did say that it said mint or better. So somebody was advertising that they thought it would get a 9 or a 10. So somebody really paid up for it. But $30 to $45 is about where this card comes in at. PSA 9 sells pretty consistently for right around that $65 to $70 mark. So if you pay $55, you get a 9, you're going to lose a little money. If you can get it in that $35-ish, $35, $40 range, which is pretty normal, and you get a 9, you're going to break even on it. And there is a 58% chance at a PSA 9 on one of these. So still a very high percentage on a card that's this old. The PSA 10, however, these cards are still gemming. Matter of fact, there were 4 Gem Mint 10s added to PSA's population in February, just last month. So the PSA 10 population is still growing on this card. $312 in a PSA 10. You get a 28% gem rate, so a little better than 1 out of 4. And it's a pop 20, almost 2,500. It's 2,478. So again, this card is kind of a staple card. When I say, you kind of got to have if you're going to go for one Tim Duncan card, go for his Topps Chrome or his Topps paper if you're trying to collect, just because it's, they're very liquid and easy to sell. But it's not a difficult card to get a 10 yet with 28% gem rate. All right, let's take a look at another one. Is that Duncan? Is that you or me?
I think it is me. Okay, I know what it is.
No problem. All right. Next one up, we have the Tim Duncan Bowman's Best Refractor. Another refractor from the mid-90s. I love Bowman's Best back in the mid-90s. Matter of fact, one of my favorite basketball sets of all time, I have the complete set of 96 Bowman's Best basketball. I wish I had it in the refractor version. I don't. I've just got it in the base version, but I have a complete set. Absolutely love the 96 Bowman's Best. 97 was a nice year as well. It's a beautiful card here at Tim Duncan. A little more expensive now. This is $175 raw. Most recent sale was about 3 weeks ago. 6 have sold in the last year, so a little bit harder to come by. Only 6 sales in the last year, so you're going to have to search for this card. It is not a readily available card. Only 263 of these have ever been graded at PSA. So again, you don't have a lot of competition if you do get one graded. The nice thing is a PSA 8 will break you even. A PSA 9 is $260, so you're going to pick up about $50 on a PSA 9. And a PSA 10 is $875. The PSA 10 has a 30% gem rate and a 55% PSA 9 rate. So here's a card with 85% chance at a 9 or a 10, and then it's got 14% chance at an 8. There are very, very, out of 263, there are only 8 cards that have graded less than an 8. So I don't know if it's just because people are cautious with what they are sending in, or if this card just really was produced well back in the day. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. All right. Love the Bowman's Best refractors. All right, we're going to take a look at another one here. This is my favorite Tim Duncan rookie card. Whoops. Did I just, oh no, did I get rid of it? Let me see if I can. I might have got rid of it. Did I get rid of it? No, here it is. We'll get to the shack. Hang on. I got to find the.
I've been wanting to get a real nice shack.
I've got a couple of good opportunities here for you. Here it is. All right, sorry about that. It took me a little bit to find that. This is my favorite Tim Duncan rookie card. It's called the Thrill Seekers. I love the Thrill Seekers inserts. They're so much fun. They're such a cool design. A little bit harder to find, but not any worse than the Bowman's Best, because the Bowman's Best was 263 graded. Here there's only 142 of these ever graded at PSA Bowl. Doesn't that sound ridiculously low for an all-time great like Tim Duncan?
Yeah.
Which is why when you can find these cards, this brings back the fun in the hobby, guys. I cannot tell you enough. Go look for some of this stuff. You're going to find out that it's so much more fun. These cards are better looking than the modern day cards too. $211, 6 sales in the last year, so about one every other month. The 1 year average is 150, so it actually is quite a bit lower than the most recent sale. You can see the spike up on the chart here. Not sure. I think I couldn't find that listing, but not sure what happened there as to why it was so much higher. But a PSA 8 will break you even. PSA 8 sells for $260, PSA 9 $340, and a PSA 10 $960. PSA 8 has a 21%, PSA 9 48%. I'm sorry, PSA 8 was 18%. PSA 9 is 48%, and PSA 10 is 20%. So, you've got, again, about a 90% chance of a PSA 8 or higher breaking even And you don't have to compete with anybody when this card comes back from PSA. You don't, with only 142 of these things ever graded, you can put, these are one of the cards where comps really don't matter because there just aren't many of these. So you can go do whatever you want to do. So anyways, I think there's one more Tim Duncan card in here somewhere, but we're going to move on. I know a lot of you asked me for things other than Tim Duncan. Hopefully you guys like those Tim Duncan plays, but let's move on to some other stuff here. I believe the next one up is going to be Charles Barkley Scoring Kings. Now, the Scoring Kings Michael Jordan card is just out of this world expensive, which is why I looked at Barkley. Barkley is one of my favorite players of all times. I love listening to him talk on TV, and I loved watching him play. He's hilarious. So I love Charles Barkley. Anyways, the Ultra Scoring Kings, Charles Barkley, $40 is the last sale, just sold yesterday or the day before. 14 sales in the last 30 days, so about one every other day. $40 is the 30-day average, so it's right. $40 is about what you can expect to spend on this card. And the Scoring Kings are super desirable. A PSA 7 is $81. So you buy a $40 card, you get it graded, and you're going to bust even, maybe turn a small profit on a PSA 7. PSA 8, $95, so a little bit more profit margin. PSA 9, $375. PSA 10 is $2,000. The PSA 10s are really hard. There's only 2% of the cards. But again, only 549 of these cards have ever been graded, guys. So 23% PSA 7, 42% PSA 8, 17% PSA 9, 2% PSA 10. And
There's
it's
quite a few of them.
fun to go chase this card.
There's a few of them on
Paul?
eBay. I see there's a few of them on eBay right now that are raw for sale.
Yep. All right.
Somebody has one for $1,650 for a raw one.
Yeah, people are crazy. As you can see, they're selling pretty consistently for around $40 raw. So don't allow somebody to fool you there with a stupid buy it now price. You want to buy 40, maybe $50. Next up, Hakeem Olajuwon. This is the 98 or the 88 Fleer. We talked about him in the 86 set. So this is like Michael Jordan. This would be a second year, third year card. It's his third card, 86, 87, 88. The 88 is a really nice looking set. I love collecting the 88. I have a complete set of 88 raw as well. $1.74, would you rather spend $2 on, I don't know, a candy bar, or go get yourself a $2 Hakeem Olajuwon? They vary. The 30-day average is $350. I don't care. Spend $10, $15 on one that looks really, really nice. But on average, you're going to spend $2 to $5 for this card. PSA 9 is $35. So if you can get one for around $5, you'll break even. PSA 10 is $200. And that is a card that still is somewhat achievable in an 88. Centering is huge on these guys. For 88, centering is the biggest problem that you have. But there's a 35% chance at a 9. There's a 16% chance at a PSA 10. But again, only 2,600 of these have ever been graded. So again, not a lot of competition when you get that back from PSA. All right. Next up is the 87 Fleer Patrick Ewing card. Again, $3.36. 30-day average is $5. 3 to 5, maybe $10 will get you a nice one of these. 22 sales in the last 30 days, so it's an achievable card. PSA 9 sells for $60, 25% chance. PSA 10 sells for $1,100 because only a 2% gem rate. About 2,300 of these have been graded as well, but there again, 87, 88 Fleer are just fun. It's a fun set. I love the 86, 7, and 8 Fleer. 89, I don't care for the design, but 86, 7, and 8 are some fun sets to grade and collect. All right, moving on. Well, it looks like we are going to get to, I might have a couple intertwined here. All right, before I do this, we're going to get on a run of Beam Team, 92 Beam Team. 1992 Top Stadium Club Beam Team is a iconic insert from the early 90s. Some huge stars in the 92 Beam Team set. And I'm going to show you here, before we get into these, I'm going to show you what you're looking for specifically on this, because I've had some really good luck getting PSA 10s on this set. I've had 3 Jordans get 10s on this set.
Wow.
So if you can get a Jordan 10, you can get one of these other players from a 10 as well. So here's what I want to pull this up. All right, guys, hopefully you can see this. So if you use edge grading, I know there's a lot of online grading things, but just download the image to your computer and then pull it into edge grading. Edge is what I use. I find it to be very accurate. This was a PSA 10 that I found the slab. I just wanted to show you the centering on it. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the first bar right at the top of the letters Beam Team into the edge, and you can see that is a 50% top. Down at the bottom, you're going to go from the bottom of the box that has the name to the bottom of the card. And as you can see, this one has a 50%. So it's 50-50 top to bottom. Now, here's what's really, really easy to the naked eye to tell these raw. It's why I love buying these so much. Look at the top of the silver on the outside of the card. You can see real up here at the top. These are very, very commonly off-centered, with the left side being really wide and the right side being really narrow. And you can tell instantly. Just pull up any listing on eBay and you can instantly tell if it's close to being centered by using the top of the card and looking at that. So I wanted to show you guys what you're looking for on how to center. As you can see, this card here is perfectly centered, left to right, top to bottom. It's absolutely perfectly centered. So I wanted to show you guys that before we get into all of these plays that I'm going to make, because there are a lot of off-centered cards and I don't want you buying an off-centered card and getting a bad grade and losing money. So did that make sense, Bo? Was that helpful?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's get into some plays for some Beam Teamers. All right, first up, we're going to talk about Patrick Ewing. We just talked about his 87 Fleer. Here's his 92 Stadium Club Beam Team. This is $10 raw right now. Was the most recent sale just a couple days ago. 13 sales in the last 30 days. The average is $10. I can tell you that these $10 sales are not centered cards. Okay. So although it says you can buy one for $10, don't buy a $10 one unless you get lucky and you can find that one that's centered. You are going to want, it's probably going to cost you $25 to get a good one. All right. You're going to want to, you're not going to be able to do a buy it now, because the buy it now is for the people that have one that looks centered and centered well. Those people are going to ask 50, 75, $100. You're not going to make any money. You got to look for the auctions, and you got to look for a good one that's centered. And you're going to have, because everybody's going to see the centering, you're going to pay more than the average on everything we talk about from here on out with the Beam Team cards. You're going to pay more than the average price to get a nice centered one. But anyways, $10. That's what the average says. Pay a little bit more, get a good one, use the centering tool. PSA 9, $68, 40% chance at a PSA 9. Again, only 477 of these have been graded. A PSA 10 is $377, and you got a 10% chance. I can tell you firsthand that last year I got a PSA 10 on five different of these Beam Teams, including a Michael Jordan one. I don't have Michael Jordan in here because he's expensive, but I did get a PSA 10 on a Michael Jordan last year. If you can find a nicely centered one that doesn't have chipping on the edges on the back of the card, these do grade relatively well, which is why I love them, because it's really easy to see centering on these cards. And they're fun. They're collectible. They're desirable. And there's not a lot of competition for them. All right. So next up, we are going to bring up the Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is a fun player to collect as well. As you can see here, his raw is $18.50 just a couple of days ago. And 12 sales in the last 30 days. $17 is the 30-day average. Again, I would urge you to spend 35 or 40 and get a nice one. The PSA 9 sells for $83. 43% you get PSA 9. 721 Rodmans. So a little bit more. 503 Rodmans. I was looking at Pippen. Pippen's upcoming. 503 Rodmans. 43% chance at a PSA 9. 8% chance at a PSA 10. The 9 sells for $135. The 10 sells for $800. So I gave you the 9 for $83. That was Pippen. Rodman sells for $135 and a 9 and $800 and a PSA 10. So Rodman is a fun one to be able to go and collect here as well. Sean Kemp is another one. High flying fellow from the 90s, if you remember Sean Kemp. $18.50 last sale, 14 sales in the last 30 days. $16 is the 30-day average. Again, spend a little bit more, get a nice centered copy. PSA 9, $71, 40% chance. PSA 10, $1,050 and a 10% chance. Only 524 of these have been graded as well. So you're seeing the common theme here, guys. There aren't a lot of these being graded. So PSA is still giving out 10s because there's not a lot of them out there. They're not, for all of you conspiracy theorists that think that PSA is doing pop control, go get some of these Beam Team cards. They are not under pop control. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right. This one is not a Beam Team card, but it's one I wanted to talk about. You mentioned that you wanted to get a, did you say you wanted a Shaquille O'Neal or?
Yeah, I've been wanting to get a real nice Shaq.
All right. Well, this is the one I would recommend. The Topps paper, the Topps chrome, those are okay. I like the gold because of the pop control on this. There are still 9,000 of these, but when you compare it to his paper standard Topps, that's like 20 some thousand. So a little bit harder to get the gold label. $41, 59 sales in the last 30 days. So like 2 a day. So it's not that difficult to find. 30-day average is $40. This is a card that you can spend that average and get a nice one. PSA 9 is $117, 46% chance. And a PSA 10 is $1,275 with an 11% chance. And I got a PSA 10 last year on this card myself. So I'm telling you, it can still be done. I bought it off of eBay, sent it in and got a 10. Right now it's selling for $1,275. I sold mine last year for $950 at the time. His stuff is inching up a little bit, but
they upcharge you on that?
I did. I got upcharged on that one, but I was happy to.
Sure.
I've got one of those. I've done 2 of them in the last 3 years. The first one I kept and threw in my safe for my PC. I have this card in a PSA 10. And then last year when I got another PSA 10, I actually sent 2 of them in. I got 1 9, 1 10. But when I got that 10, I turned around and flipped it right away for some profit. All right. Now we're going to go to, we already did this one, didn't we?
I think we did the 88. I don't think we did the 88.
Did we do the 88? Yeah, this might be the 87. All right, we didn't do the 87. Yeah. All right, so the 87 Hakeem Olajuwon, as you can see here, $5 is all it takes to go get a second-year Hakeem. 25 sales in the last 30 days, so almost 1 a day. $8 is about the 30-day average. $10-12 to get a real nice clean copy. $52 is a PSA 9 with a 26% chance. PSA 10 is $2,700, but it's only got a 1.5% chance. 3,300 of these have been graded. A little bit harder to do, but I wanted to let you know that you can go get a second-year Hakeem Olajuwon. That one's a difficult one to grade. Never gotten a 10 on that card. 9 is the best I've ever done. Those cards are very centering sensitive. Centering on the 87 set is not good at all. All right. Here we're at Hakeem in his Beam Team card. You want to go get an affordable Hakeem, get the Beam Team. This card here, as you can see, $16 most recent sale, 13 sales in the last 30 days, $15 is the 30-day average. So about 1 every other day. You can get it around that $15 to $20 range. A PSA 9 sells for $82, 43% chance. PSA 10 sells for $800 with a 10% chance. So you've got a 50% chance at a 9 or higher on a nice Hakeem Beam Team card there. All right, now we got Reggie Miller. Reggie's, as you can see, Reggie's stuff has been sliding a little bit, at least his Beam Team cards. But you can see the most recent sale was $10. I wouldn't let that fool you. The 30-day average is 15. There have been 14 sales. I would expect to pay closer to $20 for a nice one. I think the last couple of sales might have been way off centered or something. $20-25 is what I would expect to spend on a nice one. PSA 9 is $109, 42% chance. PSA 10, $1,800, 10% chance. So again, a lot of these are 50% chances at 9s or higher. And you just don't have any competition when you go to sell them. So they're super liquid, super easy. Take them into a card show, and you have people just jumping all over this stuff. Dealers will want to pay good money for them. The repackers pay good money because they're iconic cards. Here is a non-Beam Team card. This one snuck in. This is the other Barkley that I had. Sorry, I went out of order, but this is the famous nicknames. I thought this card was cool because it has Sir Charles written on it. 93 Fleer Ultra, famous nicknames. $3 is the most recent sale. 10 sales in the last 30 days. $3 is the average. $3 to $5 is all this card goes for. That's it. That's all it costs. A PSA 8 sells for $30. So you're out a couple bucks on an 8. On a PSA 9, it last sold for $60. So you got a small profit on a 9. 21% chance at an 8, 40% chance at a 9, and a 15% chance at a 10. And a 10 sells for $355. So that's a fun one to go get. I just love those nickname cards. I think those were great. Got 2 cards to go here. These last 2 will both be Stadium Club Beam Team cards. Here's the Scottie Pippen. Pippen is $17, the most recent sale. 30-day average is 15. There's 22 sales in the last 30 days. So again, relatively easy to come by. You probably want to pay $25, $30 for maybe $40 for a nice one. A lot of off-centered ones. PSA 9, $83 with a 43% chance. PSA 10, $432 with a 12% chance. Again, over 50% chance at a 9 or a 10. And really the key is centering on these guys. If you can get a nice centered one, you're gonna beat the averages. And then the last one here is Shaquille O'Neal. If you don't want to do the gold tops, this would be another fun one to go after. A little bit more expensive, Bo, but this is a really great card of his.
That's one I've always wanted.
What's that?
I've always wanted that card right there. I had the 93 one, but
so, yeah. $250, 30-day average is $250. 16 in the last 30 days, so about one every other day. So it sells relatively often. PSA 8 is $320. So you're gonna actually turn a profit on an 8, 41% chance. PSA 9 is $844, 38% chance, and a PSA 10 is $9,700, and you have a 4% chance. $9,700 with a 4% chance, but you're tripling your money on a PSA 9. You got an 80% chance at an 8 or a 9 on this card. 80%. And at 80%, you're turning a profit. It's one of the best rates, which is why I saved it for last in terms of bang for your buck with the 92 beam teams. It's got the highest chance of you recovering your money, making some money on the card. So I thought that might be a little bit of fun for you to do.
There's a few of them on eBay too.
Yeah, all of these. I mean,
running on it.
I've got right now. I have 57 Beam Team cards listed on my watch list for eBay.
Oh wow!
All auctions. None of them are buy it nows. I've got 57 of them. They're all auctions. I've already done the centering on them. And everyone that I've got in my watch list has centering wise is at least a 9. So then it just comes down to the corners and the backs. And you use that zoom in tool and you look. So I'm bidding on all of them. I don't, like I've said before, guys, I don't give you plays that I'm not willing to make myself. So everything that you get here is free. You don't have to pay a subscription or get on a wait list. You can just watch this show, go to eBay, spend some money, and start making profits. So that is what I have for today. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I sure am.
That was great.
So much more fun than trying to beat your next guy to get a Jackson Dart or a Cam Ward or the gem rates on here aren't that much different than the 2024 Prism football and basketball cards. When you look at it, way lower pop counts, and the gem rates are similar. So why not go where it's easier to fish? But anyways, that's all I have for today. Bo, you got anything else?
No, we might let them know that we're going to be a week late next time.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be, we will not be 2 weeks from today. It'll be 3 weeks today for the next show. Bo and I are both tied up in 2 weeks. So we will be 3 weeks from today's show. Join us on the Discord. A lot of this information you can get early, so you don't have to wait for the show, and you can beat the rush to go out there and try and get some of this stuff. Follow us on Instagram. You can see the pickups of the day. You get an idea what types of cards I'm buying that way as well.
Got a March Madness on Discord starting up too for women and men.
And for anybody that wants to join in, Bo is going to run a Cardboard Rockstars March Madness bracket. The link is in the Discord. If you want, if you're not part of the Discord and you want to get in, you're welcome to just message Bo or myself on Instagram, and we'd be happy to send you a link to get you in, have a little bit of fun with March Madness as well. So, all right, that is all we have for this week. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one.
Peace out, folks.
We'll get Cardboard Rockstars to let us know.